Oh, hello, great readers. I'm Belchan.
I'm Nimakong.
I'm Banchan.
In this class, I'll read to all of you a part of Great Expectations.
As.
Ah.
Great Expectations. Charles Dickens. Chapter 52. From Little Britain I went, with my cheque in my pocket, to Miss Giffins's brother, the accountant, and Miss Giffins's brother, the accountant, going straight to Clarriker's and bringing Clarriker to me. I had the great satisfaction of concluding that arrangement. It was the only good thing I had done, and the only completed thing I had done, since I was first apprised of my great expectations. Clarriker informing me on that occasion that the affairs of the house were steadily progressing, was much wanted for the extension of the business, and I found that I must have prepared for a separation from my friend, even though my own affairs had been more settled. And now, indeed, I felt as if my last anchor were loosening its hold, and I should soon be driving with the wind and waves. Night and tell me of these changes, little imagining that he told me no news. Arabian Nights, and of me going out to join them with a caravan of camels, I believe, and of our all going up the and seeing wonders, without being sanguine as to my own part in those bright plans. I felt that Herbert's way was clearing fast, and that old Bill Borley had but to stick to Pepper Interim, and his daughter would soon be happily provided for. We had now got into the month of March. My left arm, though it presented no bad symptoms, did in the natural course, so long to yield that I was still unable to get a coat on. My right arm was tolerably restored, disfigured, but fairly serviceable. On a Monday morning, when Herbert and I were at breakfast, I received the following letter from Womack by the post. Walworth. Burn this as soon as read. Early in the week, or say Wednesday. You might do what you know of, if you felt disposed to try it, before we had both got it by heart or considered what to do. For, of course, my being disabled could now be no longer kept out of view. I have thought it over again and again, said Herbert, and I think I know a better course than taking a Thames waterman. Take Startup, a good fellow, a skilled hand, fond of us. I had thought of him more than once. But how much would you tell him? It is necessary to tell him very little. Let him suppose it a mere freak. What a secret one. Until the morning comes. Or it had seemed to me, in the many anxious considerations I had given the point, almost indifferent what port we made for Chamberg, Rotterdam, Antwerp birthplace signified little, so that he was out of England. Any friend steamer that fell in our way and would take us up would do, but certainly woe beyond Gravesend, which was a critical place for search or inquiry if suspicion were afoot. As French steamers would leave London at about the time of high water, our plan would be to get down the river by a previous tide and lie by in some quiet spot until we could pull up to one. The time when one would be due where we lay, wherever that might be, could be calculated pretty nearly if we made inquiries beforehand. Herbert assented to all this, and we went out immediately after breakfast to pursue our investigations. We found that a steamer for Hamburg was likely to suit our purpose best, and we directed our thoughts chiefly to that vessel. But we noted down what other French steamers would leave London with the same tide, and we satisfied ourselves that we knew the build and colour of each. We then separated for a few hours, and to get at once such passports as were necessary. Herbert to see start up at his lodgings. We both did what we had to do without any hindrance, and when we met again at 1 o'clock reported it done. I, for my part, was prepared with passports. Herbert had seen start up, and he was more than ready to drain. Those two should put a pair of oars. We sailed, and I would steer. Our charge would be sit here and keep quiet, as speed was not our object. We should make way enough. Think that evening that he should not go there at all tomorrow evening. Tuesday, that he should prepare provisions to come down to some stairs hard by the house. On Wednesday, when he saw us approach, and not sooner, that all arrangements should be concluded that Monday night, and that he should be communicated with no more in any way, until we took him on board. These precautions were understood by both of us. I went home. On opening the outer door of our chambers with my key, I found a letter in the box, directed to me. A very dirty letter, though not written. It had been delivered by hand, of course, since I left home, and its contents were these: and 9. And to come to the little Swiss house by the Limekon. You had better come. If you want information regarding your Uncle Purvis, you had much better come and tell no one. And lose no time. You must come alone. I had had load enough upon my mind before the receipt of this strange letter. What to do now, I could not tell. And the worst was that I must decide quickly, or I should miss the afternoon coach, which would take me down in time for tonight. Tomorrow night I could not think of going, for it would be too close upon the time of the flight. And again, for anything I knew, the proffered information might have some important bearing on the flight itself. If I had had ample time for consideration, I believe I should still have gone. And Harry resolved to go. I should certainly not have gone, but for the reference to my Uncle Purvis, that, coming on Wemmick's letter in the morning's busy preparation, turned the scale. It is so difficult to become clearly possessed of the contents of almost any letter. In a violent hurry, that I had to read this mysterious epistle again twice, before its injunction to me to be secret got mechanically into my mind. Yielding to it in the same mechanical kind of way, I left a note in pencil for Herbert, telling him that as I should be so soon going away, I knew not for how long, I had decided to hurry down and back to to ascertain for myself how Miss Evesham was faring. I had then barely time to get my greatcoat, lock up the chambers, and make for the coach office by the short byways. If I had taken a hackney chariot and gone by the streets, I should have missed my aim. Going as I did, I caught the coach just as it came out of the yard. I was the only inside passenger, jolting away knee-deep in straw. When I came to myself, for I really had not been myself since the receipt of the letter, it had bewildered me, and swing on the hurry of the morning. The morning hurry and flutter had been great. Poor long and anxiously as I had waited for Wemmick, his hint had come like a surprise at last. And now I began to wonder at myself for being in the coach, and to doubt whether I had sufficient reason for being there, and to consider whether I should get out presently and go back, and to argue against ever heeding an anonymous communication. And then, in short, fury people are strangers. Still, the reference to Purvies by name mastered everything. Harm should befall him through my not going. How could I ever forgive myself? It was dark before we got down, and the journey seemed long and dreary to me, who could see little of it inside, and who could not go outside in my disabled state. Avoiding the Blue Boar, I put up at an inn of minor reputation down the town, and ordered some dinner. While it was preparing, I went to Setta's house and inquired for Miss Evesham. She was still very ill, though considered something better. My inn had once been a part of an ancient ecclesiastical house, and I dined in a little octagonal common room, like a font. As I was not able to cut my dinner, the old landlord with the shining bald head did it for me, this bringing us into conversation. Popular feature that public was my earliest benefactor and founder of my fortunes. Do you know the young man? Said I. Know him, repeated the landlord. And he comes back, said the landlord, to his great friends, now and again. In that I speak of, said the landlord. Wist to. No doubt he would be, if he could, returned the landlord. But he can't. And why? Say so, replied the landlord. And, sir, said the landlord, I thought, yet Joe, you never tell of it. Long suffering and loving Joe, you never complain, nor you. Your appetite's been to schleck by your accident, said the landlord, glancing at the bandaged arm under my coat. Thank you, I replied, turning from the table to brood over the fire. I can eat no more. I had never been struck as so keenly for my thanklessness to Joe as through the brazen impostor von Beck, the falser he, the true Joe, the meaner he, the nobler Joe, and our armour. The striking of the clock aroused me, but not from my dejection or remorse, and I got up and had my coat fastened round my neck, and went out. I had previously sought in my pockets for the letter, that I might refer to it again, but I could not find it. The coach, I knew very well, However, that appointed place was the little sluice house by the lake and on the marshes. And there are 9. Towards the marshes I now went straight, having no time to spare. To be continued.